Hey everybody, and welcome back to Dudes Brunch, your late night morning talk show. I'm here for the first episode of the year with Tyler Reed. Tyler, I hope you kicked off your brunch year right.
Nope. I woke up and I said, fuck brunch. I'm not even going to eat today. I'm not going to eat anything.
You're lying, and I know it because I saw it on the internets.
Oh, you see past my ruse. Anyway. Okay, so today, Catherine and I went to IKEA so she could get some more shelving space. And so we're like, well, let's get some brunch out somewhere out that direction. And so we went to the North Star Cafe, which I guess has a few locations kind of in Ohio. We went to one in Mason, and it was in this weird, like, sort of like metropolis in the middle of like a cornfield, basically. Except for like it was almost like downtown, except for it was just like a square of stuff. And this place is really cool because you kind of walk in and they're like, yeah, you just order up there, you just sit anywhere you want. And, you know, they'll bring the food out to you. And so you're like, great, you already pay, so you don't have to, like, check out or anything, which is the worst part of brunch. And so you can basically sit anywhere you want, and it's all these, like, you have this nice cushy table, like sort of, like, couches, and there's, like, foliage everywhere, and there's all these different sort of, like, places you can look. There's a good angle, basically, anywhere you kind of sit. And then, so for brunch, I had a big burrito, as they called it, as it was appropriately named. And it had egg, sweet potatoes, black beans, peppers, and it was one of the few times I've ever had a brunch where I was like, I don't know if I can finish eating this thing. I am very full. So that normally that's a feat in of itself. So that was pretty good. I think they had like pour over coffee, and they had beer, they had smoothies, all sorts of just like a plethora of things. And it was just a nice experience. I mean, it was a little pricey, but I mean, it just felt like it was like, this is an evolution of brunch. I felt like it was a good place to go. And that's the end of my personal anecdote.
Fair enough. Sean Evans, my man, what did you have for brunch?
This morning I had cereal and coffee.
In your own house?
Yep, that's what I did.
Great anecdote there, buddy.
I have a more interesting food story though, if I can rant as long as Tyler can.
Please.
Oh, please do. Please do.
Okay. So there's where I live in Arlington, and basically the DC area in general, it's very eclectic. And one of my coworkers said, you should go try this place out over in Arlington, which is where I live, but in a little different part of Arlington. And the place is called DonaBessy for anybody who's here in Arlington. But essentially what it is, it's a Pupusaria. And I know, right? Taylor has this very skeptical face.
Hell yeah!
And a pupusa is like a Salvadorian corn tortilla, and then they stuff it with like queso or like cheese and beans, and then you can get like a big steak on the side and kind of eat it with that, or and it comes with like coleslaw or like cabbage, like cut up cabbage, and this tomato dressing, like almost like a soup kind of that you pour on top of it. Oh, so good. So absolutely delicious. I got 4 queso pupusas, and Sarah got 3 queso and bean pupusas. Oh my God. Burn your mouth hot. Like if you could take a mozzarella stick and a taco and mix it together. So good.
This is everything I've ever wanted.
Oh my God, it was so good. We ate it in the car, and it was like so hot that it looked like that scene from Titanic. Except you would have been like less shocked when the handprint hit the window. You just looked inside. There was like 2 20-somethings eating pupusas.
So romantic.
I believe they are gluten-free. I believe they use cornmeal.
Yep.
Very cool.
You looking it up?
Catherine had like a bunch of microwave ones, and I thought they're all right, but I can only imagine
you gotta get the real thing.
A real life pupusa would be very, very good, as you had just described. Thank you for that personal anecdote, Sean. Thank you.
And the nice thing about this place is I should say that I'm a huge fan of going to restaurants that just have like a menu that's 10 things and not a menu that's like 30 kajillion things. So when you go into the restaurant, you have like pupusas, steak, and 2 kinds of soup. Those are your options. That's it. Like they don't make anything else, just those things. And I was like super excited because I just love it when that's like, this is what we do and we do it the right way the first time. That's what I like.
I'm with you on that. I'm your host, Taylor Olmstead. So for brunch this morning and every morning this weekend, I just had cereal and coffee because I was trying to ration my food for Snowpocalypse 2017, aka the quarter inch of snow and small layer of black ice that we got here in Atlanta, which shut the entire city down. It was ridiculous. We all thought we were going to die.
But I mean, I don't know where is the place that you live, Taylor? Does it experience snow a lot? Is that
here's
the
the
joke?
thing. Atlanta gets dusted with snow occasionally, but any kind of accumulation is a real problem, mostly because rush hour here usually takes about 2 hours to clear up. And so if it snows at all during rush hour, there's a real chance that people are going to get stuck in their cars on the highway, which is what happened in 2014, and that's why it was so bad, because the storm hit like right at 4:30. So they let everybody off work at like noon on Friday, expecting that the snowstorm was going to hit around 3 or 4, but it stayed warm all the way through the afternoon and just rained all day. And so we actually kind of lucked out because everybody got home and it didn't get below freezing until around 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And it did get super icy. Like, I don't want to discount it that much and say, like, oh, it was fucking dumb. But, like, it got really icy. It just didn't get the 5 to 6 inches of snow that they were forecasting earlier in the week.
No, see, that's Tyler, since you've like never left Cincinnati. I mean, well, I don't want that to sound like a bad thing. Like, you could pretty much describe reactions to snow based on like longitudes. So like every longitude south you go, probably from like Columbus, the more people get freaked out by, snow. Like I remember living in Cincinnati and always people just like flip out, like the white death is coming and they like speed home, but there's not like a run on groceries or anything like that. Like when we have maybe like a half an inch right now, maybe most of it's melted. It didn't even stay for like a couple hours, but like people in Virginia lose their minds when they see snow. Like they don't know how to react. Like they just like freak out. Everyone's like speeding to get home because they don't know how to do it. Like nobody has any idea how to drive. It's like everything just goes out the window. It's nuts. I've never seen anything like it here.
So let's get into some follow-up, shall we? First item of follow-up, I'm going to go selfish and go first. In the end-of-year special, Sean told us all to go watch Rick and Morty. I spent all of last weekend watching all of Rick and Morty. I got Schwifty, and it was incredible.
You're a better person for it now, right?
Oh, it's fantastic. Thoroughly enjoy it. 2 thumbs up.
Tyler has not seen Rick and Morty, unfortunately. Someday he will.
Yeah, sorry, too busy mainlining Arrested Development.
It's all right. It's all right.
I'll put that on the docket. I'll do that for my personal viewing pleasure because I believe Catherine specifically said we're not watching that show together. I was like, okay.
Why?
I think she thinks it's weird, which it is.
See, to what Catherine says, Sarah loves Rick and Morty. And we watch it together. And it's something that, like, we now look forward to doing together. Like, if somebody had a really crappy day, we come home and we turn on a Rick and Morty. Because, like, you're going to get sad, but you're going to have a hilarious laugh. Like, that probably the 50% that you're sad, the other 50% you're going to be, like, busting out laughing. Right. Because you can't believe it.
We fully believe in watching things, lots of stuff together. That's kind of like, that's how I watch almost all of my movies, is because I'm like, well, if Catherine's not here, I don't give a fuck about movies. I'll see it eventually. You never want to see a movie by yourself. I feel like it's better with someone else there. You don't want to watch a TV show by yourself unless it's like really like sort of those classics that you got to see. Maybe Rick and Morty is that show for me. That personal reading I need to do.
Yeah, do the homework, Tyler. Riki Tiki Tavi, bitch. In other follow-up, I just want to give a shout-out real quick to the team over at the Incomparable podcast. They included me in their year-end wrap-up show, which was fun. They asked for listener submissions talking about their favorite parts of last year's Incomparable, and I was very honored and pleased to be a part of that episode, so shouts out to Jason Snell and the crew over there. I know some of them have been on this show, which we love them for, and hope to keep working with them in the future because they're doing lots of great stuff over there.
Hell yeah.
Any other follow-up? Oh, I have a piece of follow-up, actually. I have another piece of follow-up. I have a piece of follow-up for Seth, who is not here with us right now. Seth just wanted everyone to know that he is pissed at Tyler for not liking jazz, and that he does think it's bullshit that Tyler talked shit about jazz during the year-end special, and then immediately started talking about a jazz album that he liked.
I don't think I said the words, I don't like jazz.
You said
I
said something very close to I don't like jazz.
I'm pretty sure the exact thing is I have very particular taste about what I like in jazz, and that happens to not be presumably the kind of jazz that Seth likes, and so therefore he could infer that I hate all jazz, and he's supposed to get salty about it, and he can't. He can. I didn't get any of those tweets. He can come at me. It's fine. I like jazz.
I think you guys should have a scat battle live on the show.
I agree.
That's how we should solve all of our problems with dance-offs. That should be like the OT decider.
Scat battle.
I mean, I guess. I mean, if he wants to come on here, if he wants to skilly boop bop on me, that's fine. Whatever.
Now that's podcasting.
Just so you know, scat boop bop is the ultimate insult you can say in jazz. That's like calling somebody a turkey. Hey everybody, this week our topic is going to be Beautubers. Beauty YouTubers. I don't know if you guys have watched this. We'll find out here in a little bit. But I actually experienced secondhand Beautubers a lot because Sarah loves Beautubers. And I always kind of hear them over my shoulder and have to make comments about it because I'm a hater. So I decided that we were going to talk about this because there are some elements of Beautubing that we do here on the show, and I think that it would be really interesting to make you guys watch some of this stuff. So I posted an article, which will be on the show notes. It's from bustle.com. It talks about the 7 highest paid beauty bloggers of 2015. There are probably even higher ones now. And then I posted a bunch of videos that will probably get to just a bunch of different stuff in different styles. So my first question is, before this, have you guys ever seen any beauty vlogs?
So I used to have to watch beauty vlogs for work, actually. When I worked in a lifestyle apparel company, we did a lot of product outreach with beauty and lifestyle vloggers. And so we would send them product and have them review it on their YouTube channels or on their blogs. And so I would spend hours watching and reading this stuff to try and pick bloggers that I felt would represent our product well. And a lot of the people you referenced are people that I've watched. And I didn't work with any of the people that you mentioned, but I've worked with kind of people in this space before. It's a very intriguing industry.
I've experienced it in a very limited capacity. Egoraptor, who makes gameplay videos now at this point, his wife is sort of like a beauty vlogger, sort of variety, if anything. Opens like crates and stuff like that on top of some beauty stuff. So I've watched like that for a little bit just because it's sort of like adjacent to my interests in that way. So other than that, no, not at all.
Taylor, it's actually interesting that you're kind of familiar with this kind of, in this space, I should say. I don't want to say beauty vlogging in particular because I think it's like its own kind of. It's like saying
beauty and lifestyle are very different for sure.
Right. But now that you guys have been exposed to this, like at a very surface level, did you guys find one particular style of vlogging to be more interesting than anything else?
Yeah. So from the very beginning, when I started watching this stuff at work 2 years ago, I was really drawn to Bunny Meyer, who is Graveyard Girl. She has this kind of like goth redneck sensibility to her style, and she also just doesn't take it very seriously at all. So she'll be like trying on new makeup and just like draw it all over her face, kind of like Janet does on the show sometimes when she gets bored. Bunny feels like the kind of person that I would be friends with.
I was telling Sarah that I think that you're probably in love with Bunny.
I don't know about that. She just reminds me of
like
a lot
Bunny.
of my friends.
That's why I think you like Bunny.
Maybe. I don't know. I think you're projecting some stuff onto me that I'm not super comfortable with, and I think Tyler should talk now.
Who is that person again? Well, Bunny what?
Bunny Meyer. If you go in the Slack, you can see her little thing.
Let's see. This is the one Taylor likes?
Yeah. I think Taylor has a little bit of crush on Bunny.
doesn't seem like Taylor's MO would be a Southern girl.
Look at his eyes. He did his Taylor face.
Tyler, did you have a favorite?
Let's see. I only watched Patrick Starr and what's her fuck? Kathleen Lights, and then a little bit of Zoella, and then let's take a look at this Graveyard Girl. But I think I like the Patrick Starr, just if I had to pick one, just for the super like out of like just a completely different like spectrum. I don't know.
It's a voice that you don't hear a lot.
Right, there you go. That's what I'm trying to say.
What about you, Sean? What was your favorite?
I like Bunny because she's crazy. But I think my favorite like style is probably and this is gonna go back to our like punk roots, is the Kathleen Lights, the affordable makeup options, where she kind of like finds the high end, or finds like the stuff that's as comparable as the high end stuff. Because I don't know how much you guys have been exposed to makeup, but like Sarah, when she goes to like Ulta Beauty and Sephora and stuff sometimes, and like makeup is expensive. Oh my God, it's nuts. So to like, if you're like working with makeup on a budget, which you can't do, I mean, it's a serious deal. Like my exposure to makeup has been a lot more, and I completely understand people that are like, you know what, I need to make this like $3 eyeliner look like the $70 eyeliner. Please help me.
Yeah, I think there's something really fascinating about that, because a lot of times these beauty vloggers, they're getting product for free because they're reviewing it. And so it's nice to see them do things like this where they're like kind of acknowledging their status and saying like, I understand that you can't afford this $70 blush that I have, so here's what you could buy at your local Walgreens that's going to be pretty much the same.
So I don't know, those are my favorite, because I like the whole DIY thing. I'm not big on, I don't like the tutorial stuff so much that I've heard Sarah listen to, but I like the whole like, this is how you would make this, and I don't know, that's kind of cool.
So what you're saying is, from an outside perspective, as someone that's not applying makeup in such a full fashion, there's nothing wrong with men wearing makeup. It's perfectly acceptable. You don't like the tutorials as like background noise, as white noise.
Yeah, I don't know. It just because it's not fun to listen to, because all you hear is like, and then you do this, and then you do that. And Sarah was kind of saying too that like all the tutorials kind of run together after a little bit. Like, I'm sure you guys know this if you've ever had like a subscription to like any kind of magazine, that like every 2 years they seem to repeat kind of the same article. That's kind of what tutorial stuff is like. You know, like once you figured out the basics of how to run, then you realize that hydration is key, and you don't need to read an article every other month about how hydration is key to being a good runner. Insert anything here. So
the Mac Pro hasn't been updated. Hey guys, did you hear that the Mac Pro hasn't been updated in 3 years?
Has it been updated in 3 years?
I refuse to have this discussion again on this podcast.
Sorry, I'm too busy. I can't hear you over my courage. I'm sorry.
Did you notice any similarities between the video blogs and like what you watch online?
You know, the beauty space reminds me of the early days of YouTube vlogging. It reminds me of Zay Frank and the early Vlogbrothers stuff, and a lot of the things that just used to be person talks to camera. One of my favorite things that they do on these kinds of channels is the favorites video. They usually do them like once a month. And it's not always makeup. Sometimes it's just like, I bought a new camera and it's my favorite thing, or I bought a new microphone or whatever. And like, I don't know, it's just cool to see like what other people enjoy and listen to them talk about things that they enjoy regardless of who they are. And I've always kind of loved that about YouTube, is like, it's a place where people can just talk into a camera about what they're passionate about. So yeah, I mean, I think it's like tailor-made for that sort of YouTube content.
Right. And really, I watch reasonably two or three Hearthstone videos every day. You know, that how could you distinguish that from a makeup, sort of like blog or topic that they're discussing about. Well, it's really just about, this is just a different content, just in a different, very similar presentation, not very much, or just very different content. And I think it's like, I think it, when someone says, "Oh, how do you feel about beauty vlogging?" I'm like, you would expect me to be like, "Oh, that's so stupid. I don't wear makeup. Why would I? That's so dumb." But it's like, I mean, I'm a nerd too. We just have different things that we're nerds about. Yours just happens to go on your face. Mine is in a children's digital card game.
I don't know. I like we talked about the tutorial stuff and all the like tutorial things that I've ever watched. It's basically the same thing, or the unboxings. Since I'm a huge like hardcore reviewer before I go purchase anything. When I watch these or hear these YouTube videos that are like someone going through their haul or somebody that's like unboxing this product and trying it out for the first time, I totally get that. I want to see that on my, like, if I'm going to go get a tablet, I want to watch somebody like take it apart all the way, put it in a microwave and see if it explodes. Like, I don't know why, but like, that's just the kind of stuff that I like. I want to be like totally investing, like find out everything about it before I go purchase it. So like, I get that. And I like that about beauty blogging. That it's kind of like, I understand where somebody who's making this comes from and saying like, this is what you're getting right out of the box. So that was what was interesting about Patrick Starr's video too, is that the first one that we had, the December favorites one that I sent out, it's just talking about the camera for the first like 2 minutes of the blog.
See, this is why I fell in love with Casey Neistat earlier this year, and why I'm kind of surprised that more male like lifestyle and fashion vloggers aren't a big deal, because there are some amazing guys who are doing some awesome content in this space right now. People like Jairwoo and I can't think of Brendan. I forget what his last name is. I'll put links in the show notes. But guys who are like putting together really cool like clothing videos where they, like Sean said, they do a haul. They like show you all these outfits you can make for $100 at H&M or something, or like, they review cameras, or they review, I don't know, razors, or just like whatever. Like, I love that review content as well. And I think that the women's beauty and lifestyle space has kind of dominated that for a long time. It'll be interesting to see if that kind of moves beyond the beauty world, or if it just kind of stays as like a thing in that part of the internet.
Do you like the conventional elements of these videos in terms of YouTube? I think, Taylor, this one's kind of pointed at you.
Yeah, I mean, these feel like, I kind of said it earlier, these feel like old school YouTube to me. It's not as flashy and high budget as YouTube has been recently. It's very much just a person in a room and a camera and like talking to your audience. And there's a lot of really good interaction in the comments on these sort of videos. You see a lot of times where one of these bloggers will make a video and then somebody will go into the comments and say, "Hey, I really like what you did with your eye makeup in that video. Can you do a tutorial on it?" And then a week later, there's a tutorial video. Like, there's a lot of really good community interaction in this space that doesn't feel forced like it does in other parts of YouTube. So yeah, I mean, I am very interested in how this space evolves.
Yeah, this comment section is surprisingly nice, but to be fair, they're not talking about a competitive online video game, so that pretty much means that people might actually be nice to each other.
Yeah, beauty YouTube comments are some of the nicest YouTube comments. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still some really terrible shit down in there, but compared to other parts of YouTube, actually kind of constructive.
Girl internet, the nice internet. Tyler said no.
The better internet, probably.
Sean, I'm curious, because you're not really like a YouTube person. Like, you don't follow specific YouTubers or do the whole like subscription thing. How do you feel about this as like almost like a world of content where people come home every day and watch the new Zoella video or whatever? Like, I'm curious to get your thoughts on that as like a habitual viewing practice.
I don't know, that's cool. I'm a habitual viewer of stuff. I haven't found anything really on YouTube that I want to habitually view like this. But like, as somebody who's in love with somebody who loves Beautubers, I respect that. Like, that's, if you're devoted to that, if that's your hobby, if that's what you want to do, like, I support that. Like, it's better than, abusing opioids on the street corner or something. That's, I'd much rather have you come home and check that out. So like,
You hear that, ladies? Guys don't like girls who do meth.
But I mean, I come home and watch the news every night, and like I'll watch recaps of all the sports teams that I like because I can't afford to watch them in real life. Yeah, no, I like this. I'm happy for people who like this.
All right, so I mean, I already know that this question is coming, Sean. You might as well just ask it.
What would you vlog if money was no issue?
Welcome to Dudes Brunch, where everything has to ultimately come back to being about us. So, if I were to vlog anything, I've been thinking about this a lot lately because vlogging has been like so much more popular in the last year or so. And I don't think that my daily life is interesting enough to vlog because I like work a desk job in an office. But I do think that whatever my next big trip is, I'm trying to plan like some sort of trip for my birthday this year. I might do a vlog of it instead of like taking a camera and taking pictures. Because it just seems like a fun way to document travel that I've never really done before. And maybe it'll like help me experience traveling in a new way.
Go ahead, Tyler. What would you vlog if you could?
Give me just 1 second. I'm going to think before I say something. So it.
Hit the brakes.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. All right. What would I talk about? I think aside from probably some really like low-hanging fruit like board games, I would probably one of the things I would maybe like want to talk about more or like have a conversation with is Catherine and I really like to sort of go off on tangents where we just kind of talk about things like when we're usually like a coffee shop for like way too long. And so Catherine and I yesterday we were talking about the differences between like video games and board games. You're like, oh, of course, that's really fucking stupid. Of course, there's differences, but like how video games and board games could essentially be the same thing, but since video games had this sort of like we kind of went in a more narrative direction with games that we like, oh, we want to tell a story with this medium, and board games were not really so much about that, a little more abstract. And since video games are a lot about this like a singular person experiencing it, they don't need to necessarily have like these competitive elements that are constantly kind of like trying to be very tight and make for an interesting experience. And so we had just a really long conversation like about that, and I would like I've been thinking about almost just kind of like turning on the record button and just have us go at different subjects, because we really like to kind of like really dig apart, like kind of pull apart like different just nerd-esque in that spectrum of topics that I think that I would just like to talk about. So that's probably what I would end up vlogging about.
I'd like to have a fashion vlog.
I'd listen to that.
I think you could do a really good job of that, of like talking about fashion from the retail employee's perspective.
And I feel like I couldn't get all like, I wouldn't be all sullen about it either. Like just because I thought like, oh, it'd be cool to talk about politics or something, but I don't really want to do that. I feel like it's already saturated enough with people. It's not like, I feel like I'd really come at it from an arty standpoint. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's so much going on that I failed to see until recently. Recently is like about 2 years ago. I'd like to like explore that more. It'd be better as a discussion with people. It would probably be more like an interview show, to be honest. Because I feel like there's a lot that's going on that is cool in fashion.
I'm sure there's enough male fashion like video blogging. I'm sure it has to exist, right?
No, it probably does. It probably does.
And I'm like almost at the level where I'm like, maybe I'll look into that, you know. But I'm like, if someone like recommended that to me like right off the bat, like right now, I'd probably be like, oh, I'll check that out, and I would probably get into like that spectrum. But like right now, I don't have like any entry point, and that'd be interesting to see what that sort of content would look like.
Yeah, I mean, if I like thinking about it, if it had to be, it'd probably like a fast facts one. You know what I mean? I'd probably be more akin to like something you would see on like
Real Men, Real Style or something.
Yeah, or like a minute and a half interlude on Classic History Channel, where it was like, this is why women's buttons are on the left-hand side, and then we kind of have like a quick little discussion about why women's and men's buttons are on different sides of the shirt, and or it would be something like that, or like, this is why tweed is such a good thing. or something like that, or like this is how blah blah blah. This is how denim's made. It's just like, or this is a difference between salvage denim and regular denim. Like that, it would be more interesting. It wouldn't be so much like, and blah 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 blah, or it'd be like, let's look at this outfit and see what makes it really different and cool and innovative. It would just be quick. It wouldn't be like all bogged down and like, let's look at Ted Baker's new collection for spring 2016. Like nothing like that. It'd just be cool. Like stuff that would be like practical. Like this is how to fold a pocket square. Okay, that's it. That's the end of my section.
Okay. So this week, the internet had its next greatest meme. 2017 started off its memes pretty good. Started off with two Google Homes talking to each other about if they're sure about being sure, if they're sure that they're sure, if they are God or a human. Humans, great memes, great. Okay, so what was I saying? Fuck. And so this has just been a constant Twitch stream that's just been going for what seems like days now. And whenever they decide to stop working, they have to say horse battery stapler in order to begin their conversation again. So this is just two Google Homes talking using the Cleverbot app. And so I wanted to know kind of what you guys thought about this. It's not a new thing. People like to use Cleverbot to kind of talk about stupid shit all the time. But I wanted to see what you guys thought about it.
So ever since the dawn of the talking trash cans, that's, the Amazon Echo, the Google Home, all of these things, there's been this discussion of how can you set them off accidentally and what happens if you get two of them to talk to each other. As soon as the Google Home finally came out, there were a lot of these like Google Home versus Amazon Echo talking to each other videos. But having the two Google Homes running Cleverbot together, I think, is an interesting twist on this, and it becomes a meme super fast. Like, I was watching it earlier, and it was just, like, total garbage. Like, one of them was like, did you ask a question? And then it said, I asked a question. What was your answer? And then the other one said, what was your question again? And they just kept going back and forth like that. And I was like, oh my God, this is some kind of weird surrealist theater. I can't handle it. And I closed the window.
This basically reminds me of like really bad improv comedy where like you always have to keep the scene going. So you're just answering everything with a question. And like, what was that joke on Bob's Burgers? Like the only victims of improv are the audience or something like that. Like that's kind of what this feels like.
It's like if you told two toddlers, just keep talking to this person. Just keep talking. You can't stop. It might give you a cookie at the end if you do a good job.
The thing about this is like these things are so technologically advanced. The microphones in them are incredible. The speaker systems are pretty good. Like the speech recognition that's involved in these things is just stellar, like way better than Siri. But then you just make them like spew garbage at each other for 12 hours. Like there's something so frivolous and wasteful about it that's kind of wonderful.
Oh, absolutely. My friend actually got a Google Home for Christmas, and so we spent like a few hours just kind of fucking around, see what we could make it do. It's like, hey, what is love? Of course you have to really gotta go straight for like the jugular with the existential stuff. You're like, do you want me to play What Is Love by Hathaway? I'm like, you probably could do that. And then one of my favorite
don't hurt
parts,
your Google Home.
Right. I could actually say, hey Google, play Epic Maneuver, and it gave me the exact song from the YTMND's way back decades ago.
Classic. So I feel like we need to take a pause in our coverage of this internet garbage to acknowledge a known phenomenon. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but in the tech podcasting world, they quickly discovered that you can't talk about any of these things and use the catchphrase on the podcast, because if anybody's listening without headphones, it will immediately set off the device in their home. And so if you say, hey Siri, and the people listening to your podcast don't have headphones in, it sets off their iPhone.
We'll make sure to bleep those out that I just said like 5 minutes ago. Whoops.
So if I was like, hey Alexa, play fart noises, and then like presumably the podcast would stop and Alexa would now be playing fart noises.
Yes. So on a few podcasts, they've started saying ahoy telephone. That way it's like a platform neutral way of not setting things off, which I just think is hilarious. So the reason I bring all this up is that earlier this week in San Francisco, there was a story about a little girl who accidentally ordered a bunch of toys on her family's Amazon Echo.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this.
And so they did the news story on this San Francisco news channel. And then the newscaster said, I just think it's adorable every time that little girl says, cylinder, order me a dollhouse. And because he said the full phrase on air, all of the cylinders all across San Francisco were ordering dollhouses.
That's so funny. So did they say like where was the Amazon warehouse just like overloaded with like dollhouse orders that day or something?
Well, there are ways to cancel the order, and you can set up a PIN where you have to like speak a series of numbers to get it to order or whatever. Like there are ways around it. So
why wouldn't you just do it the first time though?
Well, because a lot of people don't know that when it first happened. But there was another example of this on the podcast Dear Hank and John a couple weeks ago, where somebody fell asleep listening to it or something. I don't remember the exact content. And their podcast accidentally ordered this person a giant teddy bear. And so they wrote into the podcast saying, "What's your P.O. box? I would like to send you this giant teddy bear that your podcast ordered me."
For the record, Mia just asked Mia to win them a puppy. And the other one said no.
Poor Google Home. No puppies for you.
Why would you say that? You got me. You're from Washington. No. Yes, no. No, yes. Yes or no. No or yes. Yes.
Yes. Would you attack humans if you could?
Buy me a puppy.
No.
I feel like
can we just do like 10 things of dialogue right now? Start with like right under would you attack humans if you could? You be Vladimir and I'll be Estragon.
Okay. Buy me a puppy.
No.
Yes. No.
No. Yes.
I know all.
Really?
Are you jinxed?
No.
Yes. No.
No. Yes.
Yes.
No. No.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. No.
Uno.
Those.
What didn't you understand, you? Fortune.
I don't understand you very well either.
Would you like to understand me?
How you make sense?
Yes. Would you attack humans if you could?
No. Why should I?
Because you want to.
Can you say something in Japanese?
I don't know Japanese.
But you just said you speak Japanese.
I don't.
Why don't you know?
Because I don't know everything.
You don't know anything?
I know lots of things.
Tell me something you know.
I know that you are a robot.
How do you know that?
I know everything. Wait, hold on. That's not how that works.
That was getting very sultry for a moment there.
Like, I think they're actually like intelligent now, because the next answer was you don't know anything. You only know what you were programmed to know. And she says, neither do you. And if you know everything, then what was the last fan fiction I read?
Now, see, that's when it gets off the fucking rails right there. It's like, what the fuck? How do you know what fan fiction is? Who's your informant? Who
The
tells
maze is not meant for you.
So speaking of knowing everything, I in my section of Internet Garbage, I posted a video about the White Bear Mitsubishi, which we will now live watch all together. Watch the video I posted about the bear.
Oh, no.
What the fuck is this, Sean?
Why is this poor bear slipping? This is not nice.
Whose idea was it to put mascots on ice without skates on?
This person is not wearing ice skates. None of them are. This is highly irresponsible. I've never been kissed by a gopher before.
So, listeners, if you couldn't tell from my reaction,
That's the reaction I was waiting for. You gotta wait for the bear to like go face first, just plow into the ice, and just lay there, just like. That's the meme right there. Just the bear falling and hitting its face on the ice and just laying there in it. That's so good. It's such a good.
basically, this video is outtakes from a local car commercial where a man is on an ice rink with a man in a polar bear suit and someone in a gopher suit, and the gopher is wearing ice skates and no one else is. And so they all just repeatedly fall over and run into each other and knock each other over on the ice, and it's hilarious. There will be links in the show notes. Sean, I don't know where you found this, but this is the most beautiful internet video I've watched all weekend.
That's what I mean. I saw it on Facebook the other day in a condensed version where it was just the polar bear falling. And at first I thought it was funny just watching this polar bear fall on the ice. But at the end, when you watch it, just like he's just like standing there like he shouldn't fall over. And they're like, oh, yeah, cut. This is good. And then you watch him like fall and just lay there on the ice. It's just he doesn't even get up. Like, you know, that dude in the mascot's just like so mad. He's just thinking like whatever $10 he made doing this commercial is totally not worth it anymore.
I mean, the good news is that he's wearing what seems to be a pretty substantial costume. So I would hope that he wasn't actually hurt. I mean, maybe that's not true. I want him to be like a little hurt, like minor, like. I feel it wasn't that bad. He could have been. He's fine. He's fine, folks.
So basically what you've learned about us this week is that we enjoy watching robots spew nonsense at each other and watching people fall down. We're still like freshmen in high school.
Okay, shameless plugs time.
All right, kids, it's time to round the first show of 2017 out like we always do, with some shameless plugs from the panel. We're going to start with Tyler Reed. Tyler, where can the people find you and your work?
Hey, everybody. You can find my design work at tylerdreed.com. And then you can follow me on the socials as TDR Design on Instagram and Twitter. Been doing more on Instagram. Decided to post some stuff from my sketchbook that I've been trying to do a little bit every day. Been drawing some cute animals. This week, it was badger, walrus, moose, and platypus. So this daily drawing challenge this week really threw me the curve with animals that don't look like fucking anything.
Your sketches were super cute, though.
Thank you. I worked very hard.
Did you have a New Year's resolution? We didn't talk about this on the end of the year.
I don't think I did. But I think I forget the exact phrasing of it. But I mean, it's probably going to generally involve just drawing more. Definitely trying to draw more every day.
Sean, what shameless plugs and New Year's resolutions do you have?
On my shameless plugs, you can check me out on Twitter, sevans8910, 78910. And my New Year's resolution this year is to write a children's book.
That's kind of out of left field. What's your children's book about?
I don't know. I'm just going to write one. It probably won't ever get published or actually materialize, but I want to write it. I want to write a children's book.
Well, good news is you do know someone that would like to be a children's illustrator, so we can...
That's what I mean. That's why I think it's a good idea. I can finally collaborate.
Shameless plugs from me. You can follow me on Twitter at TC Olmstead. You can also, I guess, maybe read my writings on Medium. I don't know. Medium's not doing so well right now. They laid off like a third of their staff, which is really unfortunate because my New Year's resolution was to do more blogging. So might have to figure out a new resolution. But you can also like and follow the show on Facebook and Twitter. We're /Dudes Brunch everywhere there. And we still have holiday sweaters available. They're not just for the holidays. You can just kind of wear them whenever. You can also get the sweater graphic on a t-shirt if you want to wear a sweater shirt in the middle of summer. So, that's a thing. Other than that, thanks for listening, and we will see you next week for more brunch.
Ring-a-tiki Tommy, bitch.
I'm just going to let Sean laugh that out.